What is up, guys? Ninja Nick 333. It looks like we've got another Mew deck here on the left during this next round of the Japan Championships. Looks like this is another, it's called round 2, so I'm not sure if this is like, if this is cut or if this is still Swiss or what, but looks like this is some sort of Mew deck here on the right, and on the left, maybe this is a Mew mirror because we see a Forest Hills. No, this is Inteleon Urshifu. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting matchup. So these decks are weak to each other. The Drapion being a card that can one-shot a Mew VMAX to take 3 prize cards without having to attach any energy because its attack is reduced by 1 energy card for each of your opponent's Pokemons that have Single Strike, Fusion Strike, or Rapid Strike on their card text. The Mew VMAX deck only plays Fusion Strike Pokemon, like that Oricorio that is active is a Fusion Strike Pokemon. It is a little hard to tell, but that text is right there under the HP value. So that can hit for weakness and take 3 prize cards, but this Inteleon deck also plays Rapid Strike Urshifu VMAX, which is another 3 prizer, and is a fighting type, therefore it is psychic weak. Most fighting Pokemon are psychic weak. Some are like grass weak usually, but this one, it is a fighting type in the video games, so usually it's based off of what they are in the video games. That's why Darkrai is grass weak, because in the TCG, Bug is grass. And dark Pokemon are bug weak, so that is kind of how these weaknesses work. That's why water Pokemon are always weak to lightning or grass themselves, because they are weak to electric and grass in the video games. So this Mew deck will be able to hit Rapid Strike Urshifu for weakness, so we will just have to see who comes out on top. This deck does not have a way to really reliably beat Mew without the Drapion. You could potentially 2-shot a Mew with your Inteleon, with a choice belt on it. It hits, I think, 140 when you return the Rapid Strike energy from the Pokemon. Excuse me, from the Rapid Strike Pokemon to your hand. So that would be 280 after 2 hits. So you'd need a choice belt for one of those 2 hits. So we do get the Battle VIP pass here. Turn 1 for the Mew deck is going to get a Genesect and a Mew. Those nice full art versions. You don't see those enough. Most people just play the half arts because they did come out in a V battle deck. And because the full arts and secret rares from the Fusion Strike set were very hard to pull because a guy stole them right off the press line, the print line. So they tried to sell them all to one game store and then got arrested, and then Pokemon recovered all the cards. So allegedly those are in the new Fusion Strike packs. So maybe there's higher pull rates in the ridiculously high pull rates in the new Fusion Strike packs, but you never know. They're probably just in like a police warehouse somewhere, more than likely. So we are going to use our Genesect, the alt art one, the one that's breakdancing with a what's it called, Smeargle, and he's tapping to the side, so he can do some things here. We're gonna attach a Fusion Strike energy to a Meloetta here. So this is the Meloetta Fusion Strike energy version. Japan does seem to be favoring, even though it's a lot less consistent. As I like to say, it is better turn 1 and it is worse every single other turn of the game than the double turbo energy version. But it looks like we are able to do it this time. We are going to put a Fusion Strike energy into play with the Elisa Sparkle. Hopefully 2, yes we are. We're going to put 1 onto that Genesect to protect it. If we can avoid putting it on the only Mew that we have in play, that's really good. It's very unfortunate that they were not able to get a second Mew V into play, because if this one Mew V goes down, then there's nothing that's turning into a VMAX on this next turn. But also, this player likely knows the matchup and wants to pivot more heavily into the Meloetta than the Mew, just to try to avoid the Drapion if they can. So Melodious Echo does 70 times the amount of Fusion Strike energy that are in play on your side of the board. So we are doing 210 with the 3 Fusion Strike energies in play. So that is exactly enough to knock out this Inteleon V. So now we have a choice as to which Pokemon we want to promote. If we want to take a knockout whatsoever, we do have to take that knockout with the with the Drapion here. It's very unfortunate. We are going to evolve the Remoraid into an Octillery. Is that the pre-release promo art? Because I didn't recognize that. Yeah, I think that's pre-release promo art. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I think I have once when I like looked it up specifically, but we are going to use the ability of that to search our deck for any one Rapid Strike Pokemon. So we are going to, or one Rapid Strike card, sorry. So we are going to be able to search our deck for a Karina's Focus so that we can draw more cards. We do have the ability to attach energy for turn, so we're going to just attach an energy to the Drapion just to have the ability to draw one extra card with the Karina's Focus. Instead of drawing 3, which would feel really bad, it would be like a Tierno, a Hop, a Nemona, a Berry, a Frenzen Galar, a Frenzen Sinnoh. I know I missed out on one of them. I can't remember. But we are gonna... Oh, Sharon? I think I forgot Sharon. But yeah, draws 4 cards, so a lot better. We do get the Spoon Man himself. Gonna be eating some ice cream, bending some spoons. Has anybody ever seen the meme where the Mega Alakazam is battling a horde of Vanillite? So it's 5 Vanillites versus a Mega Alakazam that has 5 spoons, and it's just the most fitting image ever. I have done it myself, actually. It's pretty fun. I did it for the meme. So takes a 1 prize knockout with the Drapion. That's probably the worst Drapion attack that has not been done by me that I've ever seen in my life. So it looks like this Inteleon Urshifu is going to be going down this first game. I don't see any reason how this Mew loses, so I would say that they put the Mew V down onto the bench, evolve the active into the Mew V Max, attach a double turbo, and they have the choice belt, so they will be able to do an exact knockout on the Drapion. Yeah, just needs the double turbo now here. They're going to cram away a cram. I like that they're keeping the power tablet. Looks like that is a fail, though, so maybe I don't like that they kept the power tablet. We're going to power tablet and use Elisa's Sparkle. We're going to choose our 2 targets. We're going to choose the Mew V as well as the Genesect. There is only 1 left in deck, which is public knowledge, but you still have to select 2 Pokemon, so you can choose which Pokemon you want to put it on after. Looks like he is choosing to put it on the Genesect. A very interesting decision. I think that putting it on the Mew is more correct because you could always just attach another energy for turn. If maybe you're playing like a single Psychic energy in there, it would be pretty good. But now this Genesect does have the ability to attack on a future turn. You just need to attach 1 more energy, which will likely just be the double turbo energies left in the deck to be able to do that. We do draw a double turbo off of this Genesect here, so we are going to be able to attach that to the Mew VMAX and take the knockout here. And there will only be 1 more Drapion in the deck for this player on the left, so they might have to find maybe a Super Rod or a Clara or something in order to recycle one of their Drapions in order to still have a chance to win this game. But they're going to have to take 2 Mew VMAX knockouts. Looks like we're actually going to go in with the attack with the Genesect this turn. A very interesting choice, but I do really like to see it because if another Drapion does come out, it will only take a 2 prize knockout and we get to save our Mew VMAX. So, yeah, you'll love to see it. Because we played the Power Tablet, we are able to take the knockout. It does it does 210 base, minus 20 for the double turbo is 190, plus the Power Tablet is 220. So 10 more than we needed for the knockout, so basically exact knockout. So if you're the Rapid Strike player, what do you do? Concede and go to the next game, is what I would do. Oh yeah, and there he is. All right, perfect. You'll love to see it. So whenever you are losing in a best of 3, and you know that there is no way for you to win, like just happen, like that was a checkmate scenario in that last turn when he got attacked by the Genesect. Again, love to see it. I've won a game because I've attacked with Genesect too. I knocked out a Suicune V. But that's because the only thing that I had to attach to was the Genesect, and the only thing that they had was the Suicune. So we went like 3 turns draw passing. I knocked out a Suicune and won. But yeah, if you know for a fact that you are going to lose a game, it's best of 3. Don't continue playing it out because you're just burning time on the clock. Just scoop it up, go to the next game. It's not like... It's not something that you should be ashamed of, scooping up. It's something to be proud of. It's like, I know that I'm not going to have any chance to win this game, so I'm going to give myself the best chance to win games 2 and 3 by saving time for those games. If you get to game 3 and there's only 1 minute left on the clock, and your opponent takes the first prize, you lose. So, or you tie. And then either way, like if it's Swiss, you tie. If it's like Top Cut, you lose, because they're up a prize. So, like, don't do that. Just scoop. And there are players that I played against, and they're like, well, I don't scoop, so I'm going to play this out. And then I'm like, okay. And then we tie because we didn't have enough time for game 3. And they could have won. There were times where I could have won. There's times where they could have won. You always have to scoop early if you know for a fact you're going to lose. That is my biggest pet peeve in Pokemon, when somebody straight up tells me, I know I'm going to lose, but I don't scoop, so I'm going to play it out. I've had that exact phrase told to me so many times. If anybody ever says that, I have the strongest urge to just reach over the table. And I'm not going to finish my sentence. I never do, but I want to. Because I think it's rude. I think it's probably the rudest thing you can do in Pokemon, is to say, I know I'm going to lose, but I'm going to play it out. I'm not going to scoop. I don't scoop. I think that's legitimately the rudest thing you could ever say to somebody. So it looks like we've got Mew going first. So the Urshifu lost and chose to go second. Why? Because he knows that the Meloetta can attack turn 1? That doesn't seem right at all. Why would you ever go second? I mean, you can attack... You can start Drapion and hit a Pokemon and just knock it out, but then your opponent can just choose not to put enough Pokemon in play. He could just put 1 Genesect on the bench and pass. And then, what do? You can't attack, and then they just... evolve into Mew VMAX, fill their bench, and blow you up. Put down Path to the Peak. Like, this seems like an awful decision to go second. You just hope that they don't get the Meloetta playoff. And yeah, look at this. Looks like they had a pretty bad hand, so they couldn't play anything out anyway. But since you decided to go second, you know, this could have been their first turn where they just did nothing, you know? It could have been turn 2 where this Mew deck did nothing. But now instead you have to attach an energy for turn, and then now they're going to get the first knockout onto the Genesect because they can just evolve, attach another energy, and Technoblast or Melodious Echo. Get all 4 Fusion Strike energies in play, potentially, if they attach 1 more for turn and at least a Sparkle. Yeah. You can tell by the way he's shuffling, too. He's having a hard time shuffling. It's half because he's double sleeving, but his hands are shaking a little bit. So he's definitely nervous to be on stream. And he's throwing, in my opinion. He's definitely throwing by not choosing to go first. If you guys play Inteleon Urshifu, let me know down below. Do you choose to go first or second? Because I think that it's... If you're playing a deck that revolves around evolving, I think it's always correct to go first, because you want to be the first person out of the 2 to be able to evolve. If you're playing Lost Box, it can be correct to go second. There are decks like that where it can be correct to go second. But anytime somebody tells me that they're going to go second because they want to be the first one to play a supporter or something, but they're like playing like Gardevoir, I'm just like, bro, like, you can't attack until turn 3, so why would you go second? Why would you give yourself 1 less turn to be able to evolve? So we do get out the Remoraid, very important because we need that to evolve into the Octillery for the consistency to be able to get into our Rapid Strike energies and sometimes our VMAXs and stuff. The Stadium is even a Rapid Strike card. The Tower of Waters does allow your Rapid Strike Pokemon to have free retreat. And you know, it's a little bit weird that the Drapion does have an ability where it reduces its attack cost based on the single Rapid and Fusion Strike Pokemon that your opponent has in play, but it itself is not a single Rapid or Fusion Strike Pokemon. So it could have just been like its own thing. They could have printed it as like Drapion style and just wrote that on the card and it'd be completely meaningless, and I would have thought it was hilarious. So we are going to go for the Iono here from the Mew deck. We do get one Genesect into play and play a Power Tablet. We just need, again, we just need Mew VMAX and any energy card. Looks like we do have another Mew we can put down. I think there, oh, there's also an Oricorio. I think there's an Ultra Ball in there as well as that Fusion Strike energy. So that's a really good draw off of the Iono. Oh, and we even get a Cram-O-Matic too. Unfortunately, that won't be as good as we could have. I think it's a lot better to discard the Cram-O-Matic with the Ultra Ball here. Put down the Oricorio. Yeah, put down the Oricorio, Ultra Ball away the Switch Cart and the Cram-O-Matic to grab another Genesect and then use your first of the Genesect abilities. Or you could just Ultra Ball to grab the Mew VMAX and then use your first first and only Genesect in play. So I think it's a little more correct to grab a second Genesect here, but grabbing a Mew VMAX is still fine. That guarantees that you're going to get the knockout this turn and make sure that you don't whiff. You could always just, you're always going to draw more cards if you get the next, a second Genesect, and you still have an extremely high likelihood of getting the Mew VMAX, but this guarantees you the knockout. So this is technically more correct of a play, but never what I would go for because I always play full greed. You also already have 4 Pokemon in play, so the Drapion is guaranteed to be able to knock out any of your Pokemon that you have, no matter what, so you might as well just fill your bench up completely to be able to draw as many cards as possible. So we do get the Mew VMAX. We're going to use our Genesect to draw 4 cards. Looks like we draw an Ultra Ball off of this, so never punished. We do get a Double Turbo as well. You could choose to discard that, would be fine. Looks like you are going to do that with the Ultra Ball. We're going to get our second Genesect here after putting the Forest Seal Stone on the first Genesect we have here. And yes, we are going to get the Breakdancing Genesect here. And now we can draw until we have 5 cards in our hand. So the fact that we did not go full greed is not punishing us whatsoever. The only punishing thing is getting rid of the Double Turbo, but you should still be playing enough energy that it should feel fine. We even get yet another Forest Seal Stone, and we get the Lost City, so we can Lost Zone this Drapion now. If this deck is only on the one Drapion, they probably have no more out to be able to win the game, but more than likely they will be able to find a second Drapion. They are more than likely playing a second Drapion. And Mew decks usually only play the one Lost City, so if you can replace the Stadium here, if you get the Octillery, you can use the Octillery to find the Stadium to replace the Stadium. So it's not all that big of a deal, but you are going to have to take 6 prizes with 1 Drapion now for the player on the left. So again, if he decided to go first, with the hand that the Mew deck had, it had absolutely no way to find Meloetta and everything like that. He had a completely dead hand. He would have had to Iono instead in order to get a better hand, which guarantees that you don't get knocked out. And then all that you would need on the following turn is like Boss's Orders, because this deck would probably have just put the Oricorio up to get knocked out. But then you would have been able to get at least a 2-prize knockout instead of just letting your Drapion get put in the Lost Zone. So the fact that he decided to go second just absolutely screwed him out of this entire game. Going second, starting Drapion against Mew is just saying, it's literally just telling your opponent, hey, I want you to play bad so I can get an easy win. And the Mew deck is not going to play that poorly. Not at this high caliber of a tournament. Not at this stage. They are in the final few rounds of a national championships, essentially. So we are going to attach return to the Inteleon. We can evolve it if we can find the evolution. We're going to use Karina to draw 5. If we get the Octillery, we can find the VMAX. We already have the Stadium, which is fantastic. So we do get the Octillery, so that is good. We got rid of our Urshifu because we know that we cannot put that down against this matchup. We can only go in with Inteleon and the Drapion. So I think the thing that you want to do here is retreat your Inteleon into the Drapion and take the 3-prize knockout. The only other Pokemon that is in play that can attack on this next turn for this Mew deck is the next Mew V, which would have to evolve into the VMAX. So yeah, definitely evolve into your own your own Inteleon VMAX here, your own VMAX, just so that it's not in danger of being one-shot in a future turn. And then you have the free retreat with the Stadium to retreat into the Drapion and take the 3-prize knockout. You already got rid of their Lost City. That's probably the only one that they play. And now you just need to find whatever Clara or Super Rod or other Pokemon recovery that you have in your deck, Miriam, in order to recycle this last Drapion, because they're more than likely not going to have another Lost City. And that will win you the game. Otherwise, it's going to be really hard for you to win this game here. So you're going to have to rely off your Inteleon VMAXs, and if one of those goes down, you're just a Sushi Master away from losing the game there. Sushi Master knockout. So takes 3 prize cards. Now goes into the lead here. But again, if he just went first, he might have just won the whole match by now. So, Nest Ball, checking the deck to see what we have remaining here. Not super important to get a Pokemon, but if we do have a Pokemon in here, we might as well grab it to draw additional cards. We need to remove this Drapion from the face of the earth, especially if we're going to attack with the Mew V. So if there is a way that we can set up Meloetta this turn, that would be ideal, because then we can attack with a 1-prizer and knock out the Drapion. But I do believe we might not have the resources available left to us with the Fusion Strike's energies and Elisa Sparkle in order to get there. We did have to burn some resources on that second turn just to get set up. We are going to Cram-O-Matic, flipping a coin, discarding the Battle VIP Pass. It goes off the table, so we're going to have to try again. It is a heads, so we can grab anything that we want out of our deck here. It's probably going to be either the Double Turbo or the Mew VMAX, depending on how many counts of what are left in the deck. Definitely the Double Turbo is the more correct choice, because you always have the ability to find Ultra Ball and Feather Ball off of the draws with your Genesects. So we are going to... Yep, we are going to burn every card that we have in hand. Playing the Double Turbo, the Cleansing Gloves. We are going to get the Fusion Strike energies out of the deck as well. We are going to put them into play on the Mew and the Oricorio. I like to see them split there. You don't want to knock out the Oricorio. That's not a good target. You would rather knock out a Genesect. So putting the energy on the Oricorio really protects it there, as well as putting it on the Mew. If you are able to evolve it on the next turn, you will be able to... Oh, are we going for energy mix? Oh no, we are just retreating and drawing more cards. That's very interesting, because we attach for turn to the other Mew. Are we just hoping we draw a switch card to switch back into the Mew VMAX? Or are we trying to draw a Fusion Strike energy to attach for a turn? Because we've already attached the Double Turbo energy for turn. Yeah, I find that retreat very odd. We are still looking for the VMAX, and now we need a way to make it active again. I guess we could use the Force Seal Stone to get the switch card. So we're using our second Genesect ability now. There's 2 of them tapped. Drawn until we have 6 cards. We're going to use our V-Star Power to search our deck for our, I'm assuming, our switch card. It was hard to tell there. playing Path to the Peak, and then you already retreated, though. Or did you play a switch card earlier? And I just missed the playing of this. He must have played a switch card to try to draw more cards looking for the Path to the Peak. That makes more sense. So he probably played switch or switch cart, and now he was just digging for the Path to the Peak to make sure that if the Drapion does get recycled somehow, that the opponent also needs a stadium in order to still win the game. Gets the stadium out of the deck with the help of the Octillery, and we are going to Ultra Ball. Do we play a third Drapion? Do we do it? Do we play 3 Drapion? We play Luminion. We're gonna Luminion for Miriam? We're Luminion for Clara! We have free retreat with the stadium. We're gonna be able to Clara back the Drapion and take the game. This guy on the left tried to throw it so hard, but he's still just, the power of Drapion is too strong. That Scorpion dude, he just comes in with his pincers on the Mew, and he's like, I'm coming for you. He's like, come on, cat fetus. Let me pinch your toes, your toe beans. Then he comes and he pinches the toe beans on the Mew, and then it goes meow, and it dies. So anyway, yeah, that was the game. Very, very interesting to watch, to say the very least. So as always, guys, do not forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Or wait, that's not the end of the game. Forgot it's best of 3. That was game 2. Wow. Okay, no outro yet. No outro yet. It's like 11:30 at night right now while I'm recording. You can always tell by the t-shirt. If I'm wearing the same t-shirt as a previous upload, I recorded them all in a row. So pretty easy to tell how many I'm in right now. Trying to get out as many videos of these as possible because I'm heading out to NAIC a week before the tournament. So I want to make sure that you guys are set up with as many videos as possible, because by the time I come back, I don't know when tournaments are going to be going on as far as league challenges and cups and stuff, because a lot of the cups happened this month from where I am. So we're going to be going back to just league challenges. And it was all at just the tail end of a format that was very stale, that I didn't want to record games for, that I didn't want to spill into Paldea Evolved format. I want Paldea Evolved decks on the channel during Paldea Evolved format. So hopefully these videos last long enough for me to get some IRL games back in again. But if you guys missed it in a I think it was in a previous video, I mentioned that I have a new playmat, a very clean Ninja Nick branded playmat that I designed. It looks really good. I should really show it off in one of these videos, but it's like 3 feet that way, and I don't want to get out of my chair. So yeah, Mew, Battle VIP Pass. Again, they're choosing to go second. I don't know why you're choosing to go second. But the Mew deck having a much better start than the previous game, so that's actually benefiting the Inteleon deck. The previous game could have definitely gone the Mew VMAX's way, and definitely was played in such a way that it should have, but that Luminion was pretty clutch. I'm glad that they played the Clara to be able to recycle that Drapion. But yeah, maybe Mew decks should be playing 2 Lost Cities, because if you just played a second Lost City instead of the Path to the Peak, you would have had the game. So, but that's only for this one particular matchup, and the deck could always start Urshifu instead, and then you just basically auto-win, because that's an easy 2 to 3 prize knockout, depending on how your opponent has to open. So just Battle VIP passing, heavy balling, getting a bench full of stuff to be able to draw cards with Genesect. Going to draw till we have 6 a couple of times here so far. We are looking for just the nuts. We've attached a double turbo for turn. We are going to retreat into the Meloetta to give the opponent a 1 prizer to knock out. So you're going to need Drapion as well as a... Oh, actually, there's Drapion Escape Rope in hand. Dude, this man is a god. This man is a god. It doesn't matter how well he plays. The deck just wants him to win. This is absolutely outlandish. Yeah, so he literally has a free 2-prize knockout on whatever he wants this turn. That's absolutely disgusting. So Mew player, again, definitely played it correct, but this Inteleon player is just getting exactly what he needs here. So just searching through the deck with this Irida, can grab any one water Pokemon and any one item card. Looks like we're going to eye up a Nest Ball. If you were playing Battle VIP Pass in this deck, that would be really cool because Irida would effectively be a 3 Pokemon search, which would be cool. But it's not really necessary in this deck. You have an easy enough time setting up most of the time. So we're going to go for an Inteleon V and a Nest Ball. We're going to Nest Ball. You know, you could just go balls deep and get the second Drapion. You already have one Drapion in hand. You can just put the second one down. And then you're just telling your opponent, well, if you got it, I still have it. So yeah, Drapion Escape Rope. That's absolutely maddening. You know what? I got one League Cup the day that I effectively, like right after I leave, right before I leave for Columbus, basically. We're gonna drive probably a little more than halfway. We're gonna go to a League Cup this upcoming Saturday, because I'm recording this the 20th. This Saturday, the 24th, we're gonna go to a League Cup nearby, and then we're gonna drive like halfway to Columbus, spend the night at some cheap hotel. My friend wants to go to the Football Hall of Fame, I think he said. I'm not into sports, but I don't mind. And then we're gonna be in Columbus on this on the Sunday, because I think the Football Hall of Fame's like an hour south or something of Columbus, I think he said. And then we're just gonna spend the whole week there playtesting. Not quite sure why we're leaving a whole week ahead. I think like leaving a couple days ahead is fine, but not my idea. So I just do what the other guys do, man. I don't know. I just do what they do. I do the Mountain Dew. No, I don't drink soda. So we are drawing some cards with Genesect here. It looks like we did just go for a pass without like attacking with the Drapion. I think that going for the Drapion with the Escape Rope would have been a fine play. You would have just taken 2 prize cards. That's not exactly what you want to do, but it feels a lot better than for letting your opponent just take a 2 prize card knockout, because you know that they're not gonna put a VMAX down until the turn they absolutely have to. So yeah, I think it was a misplay to not attack with Drapion the previous turn. Because there's always the way you could take 2 prizes with the Drapion, then 3 prizes with the Drapion, and then maybe bench snipe a Meloetta with the Urshifu VMAX in order to win the game. Oh, was that not a Drapion? No, he just benched the Drapion. Okay. And he discarded the Escape Rope, so he wants to attack the Meloetta? So it looks like this turn he's probably just going to try to knock out the Meloetta with the Inteleon VMAX. Maybe this guy knows what he's doing. I don't know. But I feel like the Mew is going to try to boss and knock out the Drapion this turn with a Lost City. Or at least a Path to the Peak. Path to the Peak would shut off the double gunner ability of the Inteleon VMAX. You can discard a water energy to 2 damage counters to 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Looks like we have a water energy, so we're going to use that ability. Which ones are we putting damage counters on? Probably just a couple Genesects, right? The 2 Genesects that do not have the Fusion Strike energy, that is correct. If you were to target a Pokemon with a Fusion Strike energy attached, a Fusion Strike Pokemon with a Fusion Strike energy attached, you would actually not do anything because it's unaffected by the effects of the Pokemon abilities. That's what that's the added effect of the Fusion Strike energy, besides it being a rainbow for Fusion Strike Pokemon. So we are going to take the knockout with the Inteleon VMAX. So now if we take a 2-prize knockout with a Drapion as well as a 3-prize knockout with a Drapion, we will win the game. So yeah, that's why I think on the previous turn he should have gone for escape rope attack with Drapion, because then he could have knocked out a Genesect or a Mew, taken 2 prize cards. Then this turn he could have knocked out the Meloetta, and then that would have been it. Or if he attacked with Mew VMAX, and then you still just have a, like, it still would have made that you would just be 2 prize cards ahead. And now this gives your opponent the opportunity to boss up the Drapion and knock it out before you get any value off of it, especially by putting in a Lost City into play. So that should be what we're digging for this turn. We're getting rid of a Mew VMAX, again, because we don't want the additional Mew VMAXs in play. We look through our deck, we identify that our boss's orders and our Lost City are in the deck. We are going to go for the Oricorio. That will reduce the damage that we take. Of course, that does not matter for the Drapion. It does 190 times 2 for weakness is 380. So that really doesn't matter for the damage output. They'll just be doing 360 instead, which is 50 more than you need for the knockout. Looks like we are actually going to go for the Genesect instead. I like that. That allows you to be able to draw until you have 6 up to 4 times during this turn. So looks like we have a Fusion Strike energy. We're going to attach to maybe the Drapion, or the attach to the Genesect. So we're going to Ultra Ball again. Looks like we are going to go for the Mew VMAX, because we're trying to thin so hard to get rid of that Drapion. It looked like there might have been only 1 boss's orders in deck along with the 1 Lost City. The 1 Lost City makes sense, but maybe the other boss is prized. So we're going to attach the Fusion Strike energy. We're going to play the Power Tablet. We're going to use our second Genesect for the turn to draw 5 cards, because we already have 1 card left in hand, it looks like. And are we going to get there? The deck is still pretty thick, so I don't know if we are exactly going to be able to get there. We did get the Lost City. We just need... Oh, we have the ability to get the... we just needed to hit 1 of them because we have the Forest Seal Stone. So we can use our V-Star power to get the boss's orders if we miss it off the Genesects. So we do have it this turn. We still need the double turbo though. So we need either the double turbo or the boss's orders. Because we don't have both of those. We're still missing. We still need 1 more of those drawn off of one of these 2 Genesects. Fails the Ultra Ball, is going to Cram-O-Matic, Tails. But we do have a 0-card hand. We can draw until we have 6 cards. Do have to shuffle the deck because of the Ultra Ball. Only does 1 shuffle. Remember, you have to do 7 for it to be sufficiently randomized in the States. Draw until we have 6 cards in hand. Do we get the boss's orders or the double turbo? Looks like we did get the boss's orders, so now we can just V-Star for the double turbo. Yeah, I don't know why he thought about that so hard for that second. Yeah, so now V-Star for the double turbo if you missed it. And now you can take that knockout and put it into the Lost Zone. There will not be another... There's not a Drapion right now in the discard pile, so even if you have Clara in hand, you can't get it back. So you're just going to be relying right now on getting the next Drapion into play, as well as using your Octillery specifically to get the Stadium replacement. Yeah, and this seems like a much better matchup for Inteleon than I thought it was, just because you just go so hard in with those Drapions. Again, never discount the rogue decks like this. I think I've been probably one of the people that's been in most support of this deck, but I've never supported it enough to actually put it together and play it. So, taking that knockout, it does go to the Lost Zone. And we're going to take 2 prizes, go to 2 prize cards remaining. And now if you're an Inteleon player, what do? You have to take... The only way that you can win right now is to take a knockout with Drapion and then a knockout with... Oh, Yeah, this is really bad. Yeah, he didn't get any value off of that Drapion. Yeah, again, if he went and used the Drapion escape rope play earlier, he definitely could have won this game. But I think he's just really trying to throw. So he's going to attach that energy for turn. He's going to have to try to two-shot a Mew now. He's going to need to find a Choice Belt at some point, or he can maybe snipe some damage here. So he's going to put the damage onto 2 of the Genesects. Yeah, he could always find Cheryl at some point as well. That could still get him there. Yeah, put down Radiant Spoon, man. You could move damage counters from one of the Genesects to another. And then you could always boss knock that out with the Inteleon as well. Looks like we're going to go for an Ultra Ball here, discarding a Remoraid. That's fine, because it's not very likely that Mew is going to be bossing up and knocking out the Octillery. You shouldn't need another one. Looks like we are going to Ultra Ball for the Medicham. Medicham has a very interesting attack that says it does, for double colorless energy, it does 2 damage counters to one of your opponent's Pokemon. If it does knock out that Pokemon with that damage, you take the next turn. So it effectively skips your opponent's turn. We are going to go for the Iono here, so he just searched for that Medicham just to put it on the bottom of the deck. He's not planning on using that. That makes perfect sense. So he is going to try to set his opponent to 2 cards in hand, maybe find a Path to Peak. I don't think he's playing Path to Peak in his own deck, honestly. That wouldn't make much sense. It kind of doesn't have much synergy. His hand's definitely shaking. He definitely feels nervous here. And I'm not sure what else you do here besides just attack with the Inteleon. You'll need to find Choice Belt by next turn. Looks like we are going to search our deck for a Rapid Strike card. So definitely get the Stadium because you want to replace the Lost City. Or no, you want to hold off because you don't care about any of your Pokemon in play right now getting Lost Zoned. So you'd rather, yeah, I guess you'd rather set up another Inteleon. But now your opponent, if you put that Inteleon in play, you just lose to another boss's orders. So if he was able to take a boss's orders off those last 2 prize cards, he just has the game won. So yeah, being a little more disciplined in this action, he is keeping the Inteleon in his hand. And just go for the attack. Do 140. I believe it's 140, right? Yeah, 140. Puts the energy back in the hand. And now it goes back into the Mew's turn. So yeah, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to win this one. This is a pretty scary match right now. So does get the Choice Belt here onto the Mew VMAX. That is the one that attacked last turn, so if it did use the Techno Blast, which I do believe it did, it is going to have to retreat into another Pokemon, so does retreat into the Genesect, uses the Switch Cart to switch the basic Pokemon from the active to the bench while healing 30 damage from it, so healing off a lot of that double gunner damage. A lot less likely for it to be able to attack now. And we're attaching a double turbo energy to the Genesect on the bench that has the 2 double turbos. Gonna use a Echoing Horn to bring back the Inteleon V, using boss's orders to bring it up, and taking the knockout with Techno Blast with that Choice Belt to take the last 2 prize cards. And the Inteleon VMAX deck was not able to win, even with double Drapion, and this is why I say Mew VMAX is a broken deck. Drapion does not just win you the game against Mew, even if it's double Drapion. So I hope you guys enjoyed. That was a really cool match to watch. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out that description box below for the links to the socials and everything. And we will see you guys next time for another round of this Japan Championships.